I'm so happy that you're here today. We are going to have so much fun learning about bees today. I am extra excited to talk to you about bees because we actually have bees at our house. My husband is a beekeeper just for fun, so we have some beehives in our backyard. First of all though, I have a question for you guys. How many of you are scared of bees? Lots of people are scared of bees. And even someone I know in this book named Scaredy Squirrel. He is afraid of bees too. Let's find out why. So it's called Scaredy Squirrel. And he's scared of lots of things, but one of them is bees. Scaredy Squirrel never leaves his nut tree. He'd rather stay in his safe and familiar tree than risk venturing out into the unknown. The unknown can be a scary place for a squirrel. A few things Scaredy Squirrel is afraid of: tarantulas, poison ivy, green Martians, killer bees, germs, and sharks. So he's perfectly happy to stay right where he is. Advantages of never leaving the tree. He has a great view, he has plenty of nuts, it's a safe place, and there are no spiders, poison ivy, green monsters, killer bees, germs, or sharks. Here's the disadvantages of never leaving the nut tree. Same old view, same old nuts, same old place. In Scaredy Squirrel's nut tree, every day is the same. Everything is predictable. All is under control. There's Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, Saturday, Sunday. He never left his tree. Scaredy Squirrel's daily routine. 6:45 a.m., wake up. 7 a.m., eat a nut. 7:15 a.m., look at the view. 12 o'clock, eat a nut. 12:30, look at the view. 5 o'clock, eat a nut. 5:31, look at the view. 8 o'clock, he goes to sleep. But let's say, just for example, that something unexpected did happen. You can rest assured that this squirrel is prepared. A few items in Scaredy Squirrel's emergency kit: a parachute, bug spray, a mask and gloves, hard hat, a net, soap, band-aids, lotion, and sardines. What to do in case of an emergency, according to Scaredy Squirrel. Step 1, panic. Step 2, run. Step 3, get his kit. Step 4, put the kit on. Step 5, consult the exit plan. Step 6, exit the tree if there is absolutely, definitely, truly no other option. Here's his exit plan. It's top secret. Exit number 1, note to self: watch out for green Martians and killer bees in the sky. Exit number 2, note to self: do not land in the river. If unavoidable, use sardines to distract sharks. Exit number 3, note to self: look out for poison ivy and tarantulas roaming on the ground. Exit number 4, note to self: keep in mind that germs are everywhere. Remember, if all else fails, playing dead is always a good option. With his emergency kit in hand, Scaredy Squirrel watches. Day after day he watches, until one day, on Thursday at 9:37 a.m., he spotted something. Look what he sees in his glasses. A killer bee appears. Scaredy Squirrel jumps in panic, knocking his emergency kit out of the tree. "This was not part of the plan," he said. Scaredy Squirrel jumps to catch his kit. He quickly regrets this idea. The parachute is in the kit. But something incredible happens. He starts to glide. Scaredy Squirrel is no ordinary squirrel. He's a flying squirrel. He feels very overjoyed, adventurous, carefree, alive. Scaredy Squirrel forgets all about the killer bee, not to mention the tarantulas, poison ivy, green Martians, germs, and sharks. And then he lands in a bush. And he plays dead. 30 minutes later, he still plays dead. 1 hour later, he still plays dead. 2 hours later, he finally dares to open one eye. Finally, Scaredy Squirrel realizes that nothing horrible is happening in the unknown today. So he returns to his nut tree. All this excitement has inspired Scaredy Squirrel to make drastic changes to his life. Scaredy Squirrel's new and improved daily routine. 6:45 a.m., wake up. 7 a.m., eat a nut. 7:15 a.m., look at the view. 9:37 a.m., jump into the unknown. 9:45 a.m., play dead. 11:45 a.m., return home. 12 o'clock, eat a nut. 12:30, look at the view. 5 o'clock, eat a nut. 5:31, look at the view. And 8 p.m., go to sleep. P.S. As for the emergency kit, Scaredy Squirrel is in no hurry to pick it up just yet. It's sitting in the poison ivy. The end. Scaredy Squirrel is so silly, but I can understand why he was afraid of bees. Bees sometimes do feel scary because they can sting you, and bee stings really hurt. But today we're talking about honeybees mostly, and honeybees are usually very gentle. They will not sting unless they feel threatened. But wasps and yellow jackets, that we'll also talk about in a little bit, they're a different story. When we work with our bees, we wear lots of protective gear. We wear this hat that has a net over it so bees can't get in and sting us, because we don't want to get bee stings on our face, right? And we wear big, long gloves. Have you ever seen gloves this big? They go all the way up to the top of your arm, and that also protects your hands and arms from getting bee stings. So how do you know if it's a bee or a wasp? Let's look at some pictures to find out and see if we can spot the differences. So in this book, a bee, let me show you a picture of a bee. Here's a bee. Bumblebees have big round bodies, but their wings are smaller. They have to beat their wings very quickly so they can fly. So here's a picture of a bee. You can see that it looks kind of soft and fuzzy, right? Let's find another picture of a bee. So here's some other pictures of bees. They're kind of hard to see because they're in their hive, but the bees are usually kind of a darker yellow, almost orange. They kind of even look like the color of honey, and they look fuzzy and soft. Now let's look at pictures of wasps. You can see bigger pictures of bees right here. You can almost even see their little fuzziness on them. So wasps look different. They have a long body and long wings, and they are bright yellow and black. And they don't look fuzzy at all. Let's find one more picture of them. Here's some more pictures. See, they're a much brighter yellow with a much longer body. So now you know, if you see one that looks like the color of honey and it looks soft, it's probably a honeybee, and they are very gentle. Okay, bees are a very important part of our world. They are not only needed to pollinate all of our beautiful flowers and plants and trees, but more importantly, our fruits and vegetables that we eat. Does anyone know what pollinate means? Pollination is an important part of the plant life cycle. Bees and other insects collect pollen when they land on plants, and then they fly to another plant and spread the pollen all around. And that helps more plants to grow, and it helps our plants to grow bigger and stronger. So bees are a really important part of the plant life cycle. Let's see if we can play a game. It's like a pollination game. We need to look at all of these shapes and see if we can find the matching one. So the first one I'm going to get is this one. This is probably a shape that everybody knows. It's around and around. It looks like a ball. It's a circle. So let's see. Can you see where the circle is on these flowers? If you can see it, go ahead and point to it. Looks like it's right here. There's a match. Okay, this next one, it's kind of a funny shape. It looks like a square or a rectangle, but it's kind of stretched out and pointy. It's called a parallelogram. Let's see if we can find that one. Can you guys find the stretched out rectangle? There it is. Oh, this one is a rectangle. We know it's a rectangle because it has 2 sides short and 2 sides long. It looks like a square, but it's stretched out, so we know it's a rectangle. See if you can find the rectangle on the flower. There it is. Okay. This next one is kind of a funny one too. It almost looks like a triangle, but it's missing its point right here. It's called a trapezoid. So let's see if we can find the trapezoid. There it is. Look at all of our bees pollinating the flowers. Here's one that I know everyone knows too. This one has 4 equal sides, so it must be a square. There's our square right there next to our circle. Here's another one that I bet you know. It kind of looks like a circle too, but it's stretched out and long. Does anyone know what a stretched out circle is called? It's an oval. Let's see if we can find our oval. There we go. Okay, this one is so fun too. It has 4 sides, and if we turn it this way, what do you think it looks like? Like a kite, right? Let's see if this bee can find the flower that it matches to pollinate. It's a diamond. There it is. This next one has 3 sides. 1, 2, 3. It's a triangle. There it is. We're almost done. We have 3 more. Here's a shape that means love. It's a heart. There we go. That side is all done. Okay, we have 2 shapes left. This shape is really important. We're going to save that one for last. This shape has 5 sides. It's called a pentagon. And it kind of, if you turn it this way, it looks like a house, kind of. Let's see if this bee can find its match. There it is. Okay, I saved this shape for last because it's really important to bees. It has 6 sides, and it's called a hexagon. Have you guys heard the word hex before? It means 6. So this is a hexagon because it has 6 sides. Let's talk about why that's so important, should we? Let me find my papers. Okay. A hexagon has 6 sides. A hexagon is one of the strongest shapes, and it's a shape that you might see in nature often. It's important for the beehive, for the bees in the beehive, because the hexagon is that's where it holds all the honey. So I have a frame out of our beehive. This is where the bees make their honey. The bees, they're kind of amazing. They made all of these little holes right here. This is beeswax in here, and usually the bees are not making honey yet. It's a little bit too cold for them to come out still, so they're actually hibernating still, just like a bear would. And they start to come out when it's warm, and that's when they start to make their honey, but they haven't made honey yet, so there's not any honey in here. But all of these little shapes are hexagons, and that's what holds the honey. And after the bees make the honey and fill all these little hexagons, they close it off so it doesn't leak out. But so all these hexagons are filled with honey, and that is why the hexagon is so important to bees. The hexagon is also an important shape. You can see this one right here, because all of its sides can match up to other hexagons, so it doesn't waste any space in the beehive. And it helps the bees to work harder to make more honey. So I have more hexagons up here. Look at all these numbers. I want to see if we can figure out which of our numbers are missing. Some of our numbers are covered up. Let's see if we can figure out which ones they are. So this first one that's missing, the number before it is a 3, and the number after it is a 5. Does anyone know what number that is? What comes after 3 but before 5? If you guessed 4, you were right. Let's see if you can see our 4 over there. There's number 4. Good job. Okay, the next one that's missing comes right after 5. So here we have 4, 5, missing, and then 7. What comes after 5 but before 7? Let's see. If you guessed 6, then you were right. 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. There's our next missing number. It comes after 8 and before 10. Let's see if we can find out what it is. It's a number 9. So we have 7, 8, 9, 10. Okay, now we're getting down here to some of these bigger numbers. Let's see if we can figure out which ones they are. So we have 10, a missing number, and then 12. What comes after 10 but before 12? Let's find out. It's a number 11. All right, so here we go. 11, 12, 13, another missing number, and then 15. What comes after 13 but before 15? Let's start right here. 10 or 11, 12, 13. Let's find out. 14. There it is. Now we've got another one. So let's start. 14, 15, 16. Another missing number, and then 18. What number comes after 16 but before 18? Let's see if we can find out. 17. So 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, which means our very last number must be, let's find out. Number 20. Let's count all of our numbers now. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20. That's a lot of counting. That was a big number to count to. Good work. Okay, I want to tell you guys a little bit more about bees, okay? So I'm going to show you some more pictures from this bee book that I have. So these are worker bees. The worker bees in a colony do a lot of different jobs. Some workers take care of the queen and they feed and clean her. These worker honeybees are cleaning the queen's body with their front legs. Workers can mend holes in the nest and they make it bigger too. They keep the nest safe by guarding it. If the nest gets too hot, they fan in cool air with their wings. And when the nest gets too cold, they huddle together to warm up. Let's find out some other fun things. Bees have to go out and find food. Bees and wasps spend a lot of their time looking for food. They visit flowers to drink a sweet juice called nectar. They also eat sap, a juice that oozes from broken branches. Bees eat pollen too. Pollen is a yellow powder made by flowers. This bumblebee is putting pollen onto its back leg to carry to its nest. Wasps eat other types of sweet food. These wasps are eating a plum. All right. Many bees and some wasps help flowering plants to make seeds. Bees have to visit lots of flowers to find the food they need. Each time a bee lands on a flower, pollen sticks to the hairs on its body. The bee flies to another flower of the same kind. Some pollen brushes off the bee. The pollen helps the plant make seeds. Then these grow into new plants. Some bees visit more than 2,000 flowers each day. That is a lot of flowers to visit, isn't it? Worker honeybees make honey as food for their colony. Bees suck up nectar from flowers and turn it into honey into their tummies. Then the bees carry the honey back to their nest and spit it into the cells, just like I showed you right here. So they collect it and then bring it back to their hive and fill up these little hexagons. Then other worker bees fan the honey with their wings, which makes the honey thicker. Wasps can't make honey, but sometimes they do steal it from the beehive. Some people, like us, keep bees for their honey. They make boxes known as hives for the honeybees to live in. These bees are flying back to the hive. Their nest is inside of the hive. So that's what our bees look like in our backyard. So that is where honey comes from. Here is a big jar of honey. We like to collect our honey in these big jars. We have lots of jars of honey like this that our bees made. Can you believe a tiny little bee could make this much honey? They're so amazing. Bees are such a cool insect because they are the only insect in the world that can make food for humans to eat. Do you guys like to eat honey? Did you know that it came from a bee? I really, really hope you guys enjoyed learning about bees today. And remember, if you see a honeybee, be nice to it. It's probably not going to sting you. It's just looking for nectar. I hope you guys have a great day. See ya!